Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I want to show you how close a front is going to get to the Caribbean, some of the changes we're going to have in a huge system here that's going to bring the possibility of some tornadoes to the southern United States. I'm going to zoom down there ahead, show you some of that severe weather potential. Now, here's the issue. Here's this here, not really issue, but what's going on. Here's the purplish shading here, or magenta. This is the cold air. Here's the warm air. Now, we've seen these fronts in the United States, and this one's a pretty big one. But this one is going to go more to the east, so it's not going to be as far down to the south. It won't be driving a lot of cool air into our direction, but it will kind of clip by the northern Caribbean. So I'm going to break that down. I'm going to show you a comparison of Belize and Jamaica with this front. I'm going to do that ahead as well as get into some of that severe weather. But let me jump ahead right now. This is by Saturday morning. There'll be a couple fronts up here. Again, the one today, another one back behind it. Colder air getting down toward Florida, the Bahamas, and this is kind of where the front finishes. With that said, as it dies out, it'll wiggle a little bit down to the south. So watching over toward parts of Mexico, the Yucatan as you get toward Belize, right on the edge of Roatan as you get toward Honduras, Cuba, Cayman Islands, it'll kind of fizzle its way out. I'm going to break down what that means specifically ahead, but that means a lot of us stay on the warm side. That northerly air just is having trouble punching down. You need those fronts to get some cooler air like we had a couple weeks ago to kind of be a little bit more to the south. So I want to get into that further. Now, this is what's going on. Here's the storm system today. So this is 1 o'clock today. This is a computer model, and I want to show you what's going to happen. Let me take you out on time. I'll go from today. Here's Jamaica, the ABC Islands. Here we go across the east coast of the United States. So this is 1 o'clock this afternoon. You see this complex. By the way, the brighter colors, that threat of some severe weather. Now, as I put this into motion, this system is going to work its way off to the east coast of the United States. Let me stop it here. This is by tomorrow afternoon. And you can see the front right here, just what I was talking about. You see here, stretching down into the Gulf of Mexico, some showers here. This is with the front. But the difference is right here. The main energy from the systems up here, say by New York City. Now, when we had some colder weather, or at least cooler weather a couple weeks ago, we saw a couple spins develop more down here. So because the main energy from the system is up here, it doesn't really punch down. So what I look for this time of year, and it's all tied together, these fronts coming in, the west coast of the United States, just how far south the main energy of these systems could go. And that kind of dictates and tells us what's going to happen across the Caribbean as far as any cool air. So I'll zoom down here in just a second. You see this complex back here. This is as we get back toward Texas. And let me zoom down as promised. I want to show you this system. And as I mentioned, it is going to make its way a little bit more up to the northeast and away from the Gulf of Mexico, away from the Caribbean. But in the short term, it's going to be a big problem, especially later today, even tomorrow, all the way up through the Carolinas. So I know, again, we have some subscribers, especially from Texas and over toward Louisiana and Mississippi that have high interest in the hurricane season when I'm tracking that. So for you, I want to give you this heads up. You see here, let me get off the clouds. This is the radar imagery. So this here is the rainfall we're seeing in the green. This white here, that is the snow. But what's going to happen is as this works its way closer to Louisiana, Mississippi, this is the Mississippi River right through here. It is going to bring that potential of severe weather, damaging winds, and a tornado threat for the southern parts of the United States, and then moving up toward the Carolinas eventually, especially by tomorrow as that system lifts up to the north. But you see this orange shading right here, especially over toward New Orleans, coastal sections of Mississippi, Alabama, panhandle of Florida, the western panhandle of Florida, a higher threat of severe weather for today. So we're thinking of, we cover, specific areas, of course, on this channel, but we think about everyone. Weather doesn't, weather affects all of us. So we're thinking of you across the southern United States today with this system. And then this will work its way up toward the Carolinas and eventually up toward New York as we get into tomorrow, just like I showed you. And again, pull most of the energy away from us. All right, let me bring you back down into the Caribbean, Cayman Islands. We get back toward Aruba, St. Lucia, Barbados, Antigua, and Barbuda. We get back toward Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Haiti, Dominican Republic right here, Puerto Rico, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, watching everyone. My friends in Trinidad and Tobago over toward Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, you see here, look at that little southerly flow that is with us. That also kind of tells me that, yeah, that warm weather is going to stick around. You just watch some of those clouds kind of streaming in from the south. So we've got more of that southerly or even southeasterly flow keeping us very warm. Now, I wanted to show you this. So I mentioned that front. I showed you that front. That is going to drop a little bit closer to Belize, for example, later this week. With that said, it's not going to be like the last one, but there will be a little difference. Here's Belize, for example. Today, winds out of the southeast. Southerly component, southerly breeze makes sense. That is going to be warmer. 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. But by Friday, that front kind of dies out near Belize. So the winds will shift some. Winds out of the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So a slight drop in the temps, so you'll notice it. 79 degrees Fahrenheit on Friday, 26 degrees Celsius, and a better chance of rain later this week. I'm going to get to that in some of the further videos. And by the weekend, the nights generally staying in the low 70s, which would be about 22 degrees Celsius. But the front dies out to the north of Jamaica. So with that said, the front kind of moves into near the Cayman Islands, near Cuba. But look at this, the front dies out to the north. So today, 89 degrees Fahrenheit, 31 degrees Celsius. Saturday, yeah, not much of a change because, again, that front doesn't move all the way down. The major part of the storm system is way the heck up to the north, so that cooler air can't shift around. Winds stay out of the southeast, and still on Saturday, upper 80s or 31 degrees Celsius, and a mainly dry pattern. Hit or miss shower possible for Jamaica as we go over the next couple days. So fronts stay mainly to the north, watching that big system in the United States, and more to come, and I'll keep an eye on how close those get to us across the Caribbean. Warm to hot days are going to continue for a lot of us. Keep me posted in the comments on what you have going on and watching those spotty showers that will be on the move for some of us. Tracking the areas of dust. Trinidad and Tobago, we have some dust around. Let me know what you have, and I'm going to break that down further, the dust, in tomorrow's video. So be sure to subscribe. You'll get those notifications. Thank you for sharing this channel as well. We've had a lot of new subscribers as of late. So I'm going to break down that dust further again when I see it tomorrow. Until then, we're thinking of those in the southern United States with some of that severe weather. And I hope you have a good day ahead.